Bienvenidos. Welcome to our Hispanic Heritage Month special at CBS19. I'm Marangeli Lopez.
I'm Jose Alonso.
I'm Jesus Martinez.
And I'm Lydia Herrera.
Well, we've been all over East Texas this month bringing you unique stories that showcase the Hispanic heritage and culture right here in East Texas.
And we kicked off the month with the first ever Hispanic Heritage Gala, a colorful and loud afternoon where people of all countries were represented with their traditions through fashion.
Then, the Hispanic Business Alliance brought Mexican heritage front and center at the Rose City Fiesta with live mariachi bands and traditional dancers taking the stage at Bergfeld Park.
And the Ballet Folklorico Raíces made their presence known the entire month. The recently formed East Texas Dance Troupe showcased their style of dance originating in Mexico at different events in East Texas.
As you can see, we have a lot to get to, but before we dive into our coverage, I'd like to share the importance of this month-long celebration. It begins on September 15th because it marks the beginning of Independence Day celebrations for Costa Rica, El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras, and Nicaragua. Mexico and Chile Independence Days are soon to follow. Mexico celebrates the 16th of September and Chile is the 18th. This originally began as a week-long celebration in 1968. That eventually expanded into a month in 1988 by President Ronald Reagan. The idea to expand it into a month transcended as a way to showcase all Spanish-speaking countries that represent communities who settled in the United States. And when it comes to demographic data for East Texas, Hispanic Americans make up the second largest group. And it shows with so much to cover, our team of 4 tried to make it to as many events as possible to bring the culture to your homes. Jesus Martinez takes us to Los Eventos in East Texas.
Mara, let's kick things off with the first event of this month, the Hispanic Heritage Gala. A group of women in East Texas planned this whole affair, more than 20 countries represented. Their flags hung proudly inside the Texas Rose Museum's ballroom, and women dressed in their country's typical gowns to show their differences. And the food, well, of course, spread throughout the feature and flavors of the culture that it has to offer. And get this, it only took them 2 weeks to plan, meaning it worked and it happened, and they all made it happen together.
If it wasn't for them, if it wasn't for everybody that's doing the least to the most, this event would not be possible, because this event is to give back to the community.
The first of many Hispanic Heritage Galas to come. And the rich celebrations just kept on coming. The Rose City Fiesta brought their noise to Tyler's Bergfeld Park with dancers, lots of food, and children bouncing away their hearts at the Brincolin or bounce houses. Nancy Ragel, president and CEO of the Tyler Hispanic Business Alliance, says this is the 4th year for the fiesta, and it surely won't be the last.
Here in East Texas, the Hispanic population has grown fast. It's actually one of the fastest growing population groups in East Texas.
This is true across the state as well. U.S. Census data shows Hispanics are now the largest demographic in the state of Texas.
And at Ware Elementary School, a special group drove all the way from Dallas to teach children heritage.
The Hispanic Heritage Month is not only just for Mexico, but they are seeing Guatemala, Honduras, the Caribbean, Central and South America. So they're seeing it from a global aspect. And this, I want our students to be able to travel anywhere in the world and be knowledgeable of what the value is of being diverse.
The group Baile Folklorico 2000 showcased traditional dances from all across Mexico, teaching children the different regions like Chiapas, Veracruz, and of course, Jalisco. The students even learned gritos or yells from all over Mexico. Now, gritos are used to show happiness or joy during a celebration like a dance expo or even a song. And staying on the subject of folklorico dancers, I was able to meet up with a woman who saw the need and created her own group dance right here in East Texas. Sonia Treviso is the founder of Baile Folklorico Raíces, one of the few, if not the only, Baile Folklorico groups in our region. And she tells me that this passion of hers is more than just dancing, it's representing a community that makes them known.
It's the sound of music that echoes across America to remind Mexican Americans of home, of their tradition and family. Sonia Treviso is the founder of Ballet Folklorico Raíces.
Well, I started the group because I just wanted to dance, and I had the passion of dancing.
And there was nothing like this before here in East Texas.
I even thought about going and joining one in Dallas, but it was like far away.
What started as a small group of dancers in 2019 has slowly grown into a staple of the Hispanic Heritage events here in East Texas.
So where are we gonna perform? And I said, well, we gotta practice and then we will see if somebody can let us dance somewhere. So.
And getting here hasn't been easy for the group.
Now, sometimes it's like really, really hard to keep going and get money for the dresses, or even practices are stressful sometimes, or getting the routine down, getting the choreography down, and sometimes we want to quit, I mean, seriously, but then I'm like, I feel that I have a it's like, now I feel like I have to do it for the community.
And when I asked Sonia how she would explain what Baile Folklorico is, it was hard to put into words.
I don't know. It's a little bit of tradition. It's the culture. It's I don't know, like.
So I asked her to show me.
Carretillas. And then paso de tres. Días. In paso de tres. I really like doing this because we bring a little bit of our culture here.
Now, the word raíces means roots, and Sonia says that expressing her cultural roots is something that she wanted to do and establish for the Hispanic community right here in East Texas.
Well, that was a great story, Jesus, and it's safe to say that you were literally everywhere this month. So being a Mexican American like you are, can you talk about what it meant like for you to be able to see your culture showcased here in East Texas?
Yeah, so as you may or may not know, I've only been here in East Texas for 4 months, and it's really surprising to see, what the Hispanic community here in East Texas has been doing, is doing, and will be doing through these stories we've shared.
Exactly. Yeah, Jesus, thank you so much for sharing all of those stories with us on this Hispanic Heritage Month special.
Sure.
A continuación, still to come on our Hispanic Heritage Month special, we'll take you inside a free English learning class where volunteers teach people in our community survival English. Plus, we'll take a closer look at traditional Mexican fashion and introduce you to a woman bringing the threads here in East Texas. When we think about Hispanic and Latin culture, we often think colorful and bright. Traditional clothing from all countries vary in style, but that collar certainly pops. I stopped by Ropa Tradicional Juanita's pop-up store at the First Monday Trade Days earlier this month. Juanita, whose family immigrated to Tyler from Mexico, bought traditional Mexican clothing to East Texas. Together with her family, she sells those clothes that were imported directly from different regions. Juanita says the clothing style come from the different regions within Mexico, and modern day Mexicans don't typically wear that traditional clothing. The hand-woven craft is a style that comes in handy when celebrating those major Mexican events.
Bueno, puede ser el 5 de mayo, puede ser ahora que se
saying that most of her clients buy clothes with the intention of wearing it to events like Cinco de Mayo, Dia de los Muertos, which is coming up at the end of the month, or even on September 16th, which is known as Mexico's Independence Day. Juanita let me try on a couple of styles during my visit and helped me get in tune with her culture. And inside these 4 colorful painted walls at Shine's Coffee Shop in downtown Tyler, another Mexican showcasing her culture, Jessica Wilson, has a pop-up art exhibit that features her Tejano upbringing. The exhibit's titled Nuestra Cultura pays homage to the great Selena Quintanilla. It features Virgin Mary due to her Catholic roots, and it includes mom's remedies to everything like Vicks Vapor Rub and caldo de res. She says her mom is her biggest supporter and inspiration.
It was just always around me. It was all without even realizing. It was just something that I picked up, and it's just something that I really love, and it's become, a huge part of my life.
In addition to the exhibit inside the coffee shop, Wilson owns her own business, Be Original Co., where she sells authentic embroidered Mexican clothes and accessories. Jose Alonso is joining me now. He shares the story of a family business that's giving back to their community.
That's right, Mara. I spoke with her about Salvadorian culture and why she's inspired to give back. Sophia Swartz says her family moved for a better living and to escape the violence within their country. Once she grew up, she started a business with her siblings. And with all the success, Sofia and her brother Luis make sure to give back to the local Hispanic community.
Luis also does a lot of events and quinceañeras and weddings and all of that. But every year he gives back also for the big Cinco de Mayo in Mount Pleasant. We take care of all the video photography and all of that. So that's huge.
I asked Sofia why Hispanic Heritage Month is important to her and what's the difference in cultures when it comes to being Salvadoran. She told me it's definitely the food and added that some people think she's just Mexican based on the way that she looks. She also encourages people to explore more countries to get to know the heritage better.
Well said, because we all come from different backgrounds. So, Jose, how were you able to connect with her and what did you learn?
So I did a story earlier about Hispanic leaders in Longview, and she reached out to me actually, and I needed a story for a Sunday, and we just got to talking about it. I was like, real estate and photography and giving back to the Hispanic community. I just knew I had to talk to her.
Yeah, certainly unique. And speaking of Longview leaders,
a continuación, prestigious nominations that are much deserved. After the break, we travel to Longview, where some Hispanic innovators are being recognized.
So repeat after me. In rush.
Plus, we'll take you inside that classroom where adults are learning basic English that they need to communicate in the United States. As we continue our coverage of Hispanic Heritage Month, we're focusing on the Longview community. Our Jose Alonso explores the stories of Latinos of different backgrounds who are continuing to make a difference.
Luis moved to Longview 27 years ago and owns a construction company, but it wasn't until last October that he became an American citizen.
My parents brought me here, me and my sister, just so we can have a better life. You know, I'm not your typical home builder, contractor.
Y el único programa de un distrito escolar en español.
Francisco Rojas. I was born in Miami, and my country of origin is Ecuador.
Francisco's parents migrated to Miami to pursue the American dream. As he grew up, Francisco's mother moved him back to Ecuador, where he encountered a culture shock.
I experienced what true poverty is. I also had the opportunity to start a nonprofit in Ecuador at an early age. We did food drives in very poor neighborhoods surrounding the capital of Ecuador.
And today, with the help of his wife, New Beginnings Christian Center in Marshall, and a team in Ecuador, they plan to open a church like Casa de Oración in Ecuador.
Trying to help as many people as we can in our country of origin, and also trying to help as many people as we can here in the U.S.
My name is Franceli Lopez. I grew up in Emory, Texas, and my family culture is actually from Mexico City.
Franceli moved to Longview 6 years ago, but most recently represented the city in the Miss Texas Latina pageant as the second ever Miss Longview.
It's allowed me to grow just in so many different ways. I've developed friendships and connections, and I'm just so grateful for that opportunity.
Franceli says working as a recruiter for Christus Good Shepherd allows her to put her values to good use.
Because not only do I get to work for Christus, but I get to practice my faith along with it, and that's something that's very important to me. I grew up as a Catholic, and for me, it just makes me feel that much closer to the organization.
In Longview, Jose Alonso, CBS19.
Meanwhile, our radio partners at La Invasora are gearing up for their 10th annual Radiothon, benefiting the Children's Miracle Network. Menyo Llanes from El Show de Menyo, along with La Invasora 96.7, are raising funds all month long, from restaurants to concerts to a block party at the end of the month. They're trying to reach their $1 million goal of a fundraiser overall in 10 years.
We're making an impact. We're teaching people not only about, different illnesses, but also the importance of, working together to improve our community.
The Radiothon bridges the language barrier and helps inform the Hispanic community of services like the Children's Miracle Network. Speaking of services that are offered, Lydia Herrera is joining me now. Lydia, you met up with a group that's helping people learn English.
That's right, Mara. Teachers are donating their time to help those in our community who don't yet speak English fluently. Since 2016, Grace Español, a branch of Grace Community Church in Tyler, has offered East Texans a free opportunity that can lead to better jobs in higher education, learning English as a second language. The ESL program offers 4 levels and about 20 to 30 students in each class. Paulina Pedrosa is the only Latina teacher in the program. She says she donates her time to make a bigger impact in her community.
This ESL program, what we concentrate on is survival English. So we do have some of the writing, some of the reading, but it's very important for us that they can survive in the exterior world, whatever their needs are.
ESL classes are held every Monday from 6 to 8 p.m. at Grace Community Church at 3215 Old Jacksonville Highway.
Well, Lydia, this sounds too good to be true. I mean, they're teaching free English to anybody that shows up.
Absolutely, and they provide childcare, which is also free.
Wow, such a great service to families. No excuse not to learn English. If you liked what you heard here, you can catch Lydia's full story online at CBS19.tv.
They have been waiting for this invite for years.
Well, our Hispanic Heritage Month special is almost over, but we're ending with a bang. History being made in the Rose City. We'll explain what Viva la Rosa is all about. We wrap up our Hispanic Heritage Month coverage with history being made in the Rose City as Hispanic leaders are making progress towards a more inclusive Rose Festival parade. With the help from sponsors, more than 20 Latin and Hispanic communities marched at the 89th Annual Texas Rose Parade.
They have been waiting for this invite for years. They were like ready to bloom.
Blooming in one of Tyler's most prestigious and distinguished events.
It's the first time in 89 years that we are Latinos are invited to be part of the Rose Parade.
It's an honor for a community that never thought this day would come.
These doors that at one time were unseen for us to be open, they're open now.
Vicky Murillo's daughter, Yareli, is one of 60 beautiful quinceañeras participating in this year's parade.
The problem we've had for years that we've always been too scared to ask.
Historically, the Texas Rose Parade and Festival has been an opportunity to showcase the roses cultivated in Tyler with royalty and fashion. It's an elegant affair, but one that's been criticized for its lack of diversity.
And there's been misconceptions about Rose Festival's not part of that community or this community. It is for the entire Tyler community.
That's why immigration lawyer Ginger Young reached out to Executive Director Liz Ballard to include Hispanic heritage in the Rose Parade this year.
As things do evolve and communities change and we've got more diversity, it's perfect timing.
And it went from 6 girls to 60.
And it went from one float featuring quinceañera tradition to 3 floats showcasing all Hispanic heritage has to offer.
It's going to be something huge. We ended being like 300 out of the 3,000.
A seed of an idea blooming into a new East Texas tradition. In total, 300 people from all different Hispanic cultures are represented in the parade, and there are already plans in motion to have them participate again next year. It's a sign of the growing Hispanic population in East Texas.
That's right, representing all backgrounds and nationalities.
Because that's what makes us unique, the country that we are from.
But what unites us is our roots in the common language, Spanish.
From all of us here at CBS 19, happy Hispanic Heritage Month.